mga kaibigan, this is Pastor Ivan of Lifehouse Church. Welcome po sa ating session for today, Christian Joy 101. Ang aming pong purpose dito is to educate you what Christian joy really is at kung gaano po ba kahalaga para sa atin to intentionally and seriously pursue this always sa ating pong buhay. Gagawin po natin yan by answering some questions and correcting some wrong ideas regarding this. Ang aming pong prayer po sa inyo, sa mga manunood po ng ating sessions is that, by the grace of God, you will be encouraged or led to pursue this joy always. Now, ano po ba itong tinatawag nating Christian joy? And how is this different from the kind of joy that this world offers? Well, sasagutin po natin yung bagay na yan, ano po? Pero before anything else po, let's answer muna some important preliminary questions. At ang ating pong question for today is, drum roll. Is God a happy God? In other words, is He a joyful deity? Now, some of us might be thinking that He is not. Probably, Pastor, God is this one big cosmic gloomy person up there. Pag sinabi po natin gloomy, it means sad, lonely, or depressing. Probably, Pastor, siya isang Diyos na dahil sobrang banal siya. Kaya naman, He's always serious, always boring, and always unhappy. O kaya naman, dahil siguro sa nag-iisa siyang tunay na Diyos, no one is like Him, siguro wala siyang ka-fellowship. Siguro, Pastor, walang ibang perfectly nakakaunawa sa Kanya bilang Diyos. Kaya naman siguro, palagi siyang malungkot. O kaya naman, dahil sa sobrang makasalanan ng tao at dami ng kasamaan sa ating mundo, kaya siguro, Pastor, God is always frustrated, He's always angry, and scary. Pero ang tanong, tama po ba itong kaisipan na ito tungkol sa Diyos? Is God happy? Or is He gloomy and frustrated? Well, napaka-importante po, napakahalaga pong masagot natin ng tama yung katanungan yan. Kasi po, the very quality of this Christian joy we speak about will surely be affected by the fact whether He is happy or not. Example po, if a certain worker is always feeling sad and frustrated, pag palagi po siyang malungkot at bugnutin, this will definitely affect the quality of his works. This would affect the quality of his services that he is offering. Now, Christian joy po, its basic definition means the joy that comes from God and made available to us by Jesus Christ. Now, isipin po natin mga kaibigan, if the God of Christianity is always gloomy, if Jesus Christ is always unhappy, then who would want to experience this joy that Christianity teaches and offers? Probably no one po will be interested. Tama po ba? Furthermore, just imagine po this scenario. Living forever with this kind of God, gloomy and always feeling frustrated. I don't think that is something worth looking forward to. Tama po ba? Halimbawa na lang palagay natin nung panahon ng quarantine, na-lockdown ka po sa isang napakaliit na bahay na wala kang ibang mapupuntahan at ang tanging kasama mo ay isang tao po na palaging malungkot, hindi nagsasalita, lagi nakasimangot, lagi nakakunot ang noo, ay grabe, napakahirap siguro ng kalagayan mo nung lockdown na iyan, tama po ba? Sorry. Now, kung ganito po ang ating Diyos, just imagine, being with Him in eternity doesn't sound like good news at all. Rather, it sounds like a miserable news. Tama po ba? This will not be a reward. But in a sense, we can say, this is an eternal punishment. Pero buti na lang po, the Bible teaches us that this is not true. And I'll give you two supports for this claim. Number one, the Bible describes God as a happy God. Yes, it is true po that the Bible says that sin and its effects grieve the very heart of God and make Him wrathful. But that does not change the fact that the Bible also describes God as a happy God. One example po niyan is 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 11. I'll be reading from the NIV. Ang sabi rito, that conforms to the gospel of the glory of the blessed God, which He entrusted to me. Now here in this verse, God is directly described as the blessed God. Now, ano kayang ibig sabihin ng description na ito? Now, the original Greek word used here for the word blessed, is literally translated po in English as happy. Happy. Therefore, based on the fact that God is described as the blessed God, this indicates to us that He is happy. That God is the happy God. This is part of His glory and nature as God. This is part of who God really is. In fact, I would like to go further in saying that there is a biblical sense wherein we can say that God is always happy. He is always happy. Now, pag-aralan po natin yan in our next sessions po. Now, another verse po for us is Proverbs chapter 8 verses 30 to 31. Ito naman po from the Good News Translation. I, referring to God the Son, was beside Him, referring to God the Father, like an architect, referring po to the time when God created the world. I was beside Him like an architect. I was His daily source of joy, always happy in His presence, happy with the world, and pleased with the human race. Here we can see that both God the Father and the Son were both happy when they created the world. Now, all of these verses we saw support what I'm saying here, that our God is indeed happy. Now, here's another support kung bakit ko po ito nasabi. The Bible teaches us that God is the happiest being there is. He's not just happy, mga kaibigan, but He is the happiest. Let me read to you Psalm chapter 16, verse 11 from the ESV. You, referring to God, make known to me the path of life. In your presence, there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Now, based po sa ating binasa, mga kaibigan, ano raw po yung mga descriptions ng joy that we can experience in the presence of God? Full and forevermore. Now, as the Bible teacher John Piper rightly said, whom I look up to, sabi niya, is there anything greater than full and longer than forever? Meron daw po bang mas hihigit pa sa full, at mas haba pa sa forever? Obviously, definitely, wala po. Now, I think this clearly teaches us that the joy we can experience in God's presence is the greatest happiness there is. Why is this so? I believe this also implies that God is the most joyful and the happiest being there is in heaven and on earth, which is why the greatest happiness can be experienced only in His presence. Now, another verse po para sa atin, is Hebrews chapter 1 verse 9. And this time po, I'll be reading from the NLT. Ang sabi dito, you love justice and hate evil. Therefore, O God, referring to Jesus, who is God the Son. Therefore, O God, your God, referring to God the Father, has anointed you, pouring out the oil of joy on you more than on anyone else. Now, the fact that God the Father poured upon His Son the oil of joy more than on anyone else, it only means that no angel is happier than Jesus. And also, no human being is happier than Him. In other words po, we can say that God is the happiest being there is. His joy towers over all beings in heaven and on earth. Now, in conclusion po mga kapatid, as far as the Bible teaches, our God is not gloomy, He is not unhappy. Again, why did I say this? Summary. The Bible describes God as happy, and the Bible teaches us that God is the happiest being there is. Now, next session naman po, we will answer another preliminary question. Why is God the happy God? What makes Him always happy? Sana po samahan niyo po ako ulit sa panibagong session ng ating Christian Joy 101. God bless po.